Okay, welcome back. Last week we started talking about the anxious attachment style, and we dug pretty deep into, how it starts, what causes it, possible causes, and possible ways that anxious people show up in their relationships. This week, we're going to conclude our discussion on the anxious attachment by going a little deeper and exploring how the anxious partner shows up in their relationships. Let us get into today's episode.
Does she like me? Was that a date or a hang? Is she single? Wait, what are we? Is it too soon to say I love you? Should I call him now or should I just wait? Maybe I should wait. Wait, should I let her go? Why did he just ghost me like that? Wait, can't we work it out? Is he an F-boy? Is she toxic? We hooked up. Why is he saying we're just friends? Let's face it. Relationships are the best thing when they work and a nightmare when they flop. You're recklessly giddy when Cupid's arrow sticks you in the ass and a nervous, pain-filled wreck when he comes to take his love away. There's hardly anyone who cannot relate to the dizzying highs and debilitating lows of relationships. We are naturally wired for connection, so when that's messed with, it can make us feel crazy. Enter Bambazeled. On this show, we help you figure out if you are being bamboozled by your bae. That's it. Nothing else, nothing fancy, just a real, raw, honest to heavens, and hopefully helpful take on the best to the worst of relationships and everything on the spectrum in between. No topic is off limits, no situation is too taboo or embarrassing. Give us everything. So, if you're wondering if you're being bamboozled by your bae, don't walk, run here. This is your new home. I am your new bestie, and I've got you. Now, let's figure out if you're being bamboozled.
We've talked about what an anxious attacher looks like, how they manifest, how their personalities develop when they're anxiously attached, some examples, and now we're going to talk about how this impacts relationships. We're going to take the impact on relationships on the anxious person's relationships from 5 angles. We're going to start with dependency. Now, if you remember we're talking about dependency with the avoidant. The avoidant person is unhealthily self-reliant. They will not depend on their partner emotionally. The anxious person will not depend on themselves emotionally. They will completely depend on their partner's state of being to determine their own emotional state of being. All right, so number one, the first way that it impacts our relationships is in the area of dependency. Emotional dependence and a fear of independence. Anxiously attached individuals often become overly dependent on their partners for emotional support, stability, and validation. This can place a heavy burden on the relationship and create an imbalance in emotional give and take. If you are the bucket with the holes underneath it, your partner is pouring support and validation, support and validation, support. We start out, oh, okay, of course I can support you. Of course I can validate you. I go on my way. I've supported and validated my partner. It's all good. Your partner, the bucket with the holes, is standing there like Oliver Twist, like, you didn't give me nothing, governor. I need more. Because check me now, see, I'm empty. My pencil case is not empty. I have these colorful pencils in here. But let's just assume it's empty. Check now, check and see. There's nothing there, it's empty. It's empty, you to check and see now. Your body's like, but maybe I just poured validation here. Maybe I just poured a nice vacation in here. Maybe I just poured a lovely birthday surprise in here. Maybe I just poured some good sex in here. Maybe I just poured some quality time in here. Maybe I just poured, whoa, there's something in there that you should not see. Maybe I just poured whatever. I just poured some words of affirmation in here. But I did. Okay, well, but true is empty. Okay. They pour again. They've gone their way. I've done my work as a partner. I poured in, not knowing everything you're pouring in is just pouring out. This person says to you, anxious person, is empty. After a while, the pourer is going to say, have I I literally poured it to you just now. And they're going to be so frustrated because it feels like everything I'm giving, it's not showing that I'm giving anything. It's not showing that I'm putting anything inside this bucket. Why? So that is what it means when I say it places a very heavy burden on the relationship because the anxious person is depending on this relationship to be their anchor, to be the thing that holds them to not solidify that tethers them to calm and safety. And if the relationship to them is not exactly perfect as they need it to be, then their tether is affected, their anchor is compromised, and they're floating away. And it's like, oh, bring me back to earth, bring me back to earth, bring me back to earth, bring me back to earth. But your relationship can't do that. No relationship is enough to fill the void in each of us that must be filled by ourselves. No relationship. And this goes same for the avoidant, same for the anxious, same for the disorganized, fearful attacher. No relationship, familial, amorous, platonic, business, professional, whatever, even sexual, no relationship can fill a certain part of us that we must fill ourselves. And that is the thing that securely attached people have the benefit of knowing. There is a part of them that is filled with them. And so, whether or not their relationship is working, whether they are single or not, whether they are in relationship or not, within the relationship, they are able to stay at an equilibrium. They're able to stay at a balanced level because that part of them is all them. It's not their partner. It's not their relationship. So it's steady and it's stable. Another way that high dependency expresses is in a fear of independence. Now, the anxious partner may fear spending time apart from their partner, leading to over involvement and a lack of personal boundaries. There is something called enmeshment. Enmeshment is a psychological term where families or people, they are so intertwined with one another that they are no longer separate individuals. So I don't know where I start. I don't know where I end and where you begin. And you don't know where you end and the other person begins. We're enmeshed. It's unhealthy. Healthy relationships have healthy boundaries. Healthy relationships have healthy boundaries. Healthy relationships have healthy boundaries. People are individuals coming into a space of relationship. They are not one person. So the anxious person fears spending time apart from their partner. And we discussed why earlier on. So they want to be with their partner all the time. And it's not funny, it's a painful way to be because you're so afraid that if I take my eyes off this person, the way I took my eyes off that person that originally caused this wound, the same thing that happened then will happen now. And I will lose them. And so I won't take my eyes off them. It's like, please be with me all the time. because I'm so scared that when you're not with me, it increases the chances of you leaving and of us being separated forever. And that is something that is difficult for, definitely for avoidance to understand, but even securely attached people have a difficulty with that. After a while, it will become tiresome. I don't know why I'm sliding down this chair. It will become tiresome. The second way that this affects our relationships is in our communication patterns. So there is healthy communication and there is unhealthy communication. Some examples of unhealthy communication are frequent check-ins, and in the ways that we express our needs. So anxious people might frequently check in with their partners, seeking reassurance through texts, calls, voice notes. That's how you know I wrote this, because I'm the queen of voice notes. I can send a 2 hour long voice note. Like, I'm yet to meet someone who can out voice note me. Ah, I love it. And you know the thing about voice notes, when I send you a voice note, you will think that you and I are talking in real time. But anyways, yeah, voice notes or other forms of communication. So frequent check-ins, it's like, oh, call you like 17 times a day. If I called 17 times and you picked up 16 times, that one time you didn't pick up is what the anxious person is going to focus on. They're going to focus on the the one the one thing to them signified disconnection, signified a problem, and they will leave all the other things that that showed this person's dedication, this person's interest, this person's love. They will focus on that one. That one that is the threat to the stability and longevity of their relationship. And so if when they're constantly calling you and constantly checking in on you, yes, it's from a place of love, but it is more from a place of fear and anxiety and worrying about a loss of connection. They want to make sure that they keep that connection consistent and constant. And to them, the way to do that is constantly be on top of their partner and not necessarily in the fun way. A second way that communication patterns, the effect it has on the communication patterns of the anxious person is in how they express their needs. So the anxious person might be good at expressing themselves. They might be articulate, they might be intelligent, they might be well read, they might be even compassionate, all of that stuff. But when the need is not met to their satisfaction, which remember is affected by the holes that are in their bucket. So their satisfaction is not normal satisfaction. Their method of communicating or expressing their needs can become or come off as demanding or overwhelming to their partners. So an example would be, I need us to talk. I want us to talk. Something happened. I need us to talk. The anxious person wants to talk now. We want to talk now. We have to talk now. Now. It has to be now. If they're with a securely attached person who recognizes these patterns, the person can indulge them sometimes, but can also communicate, hey, listen, now is not a good time. I love you. I am here with you, but we can't have this conversation now. When I am able to have this conversation, we will. And then the person will give them a time and say, can we revisit this in 2 hours? Can we come back to this conversation in 2 days? Can we come back to this conversation when I get back from my tennis game? Can we come back to this conversation when I get back from my trip? That's the way to handle it. If it is an avoidant partner, the avoidant partner is just going to respond in an avoidant way. So the anxious person is chasing the avoidant person for communication. We need to talk about this now. The anxious person walks away, says, I'm not talking about this, disappears, shuts down. As the anxious person shuts down, it triggers as the avoidant person shuts down, it triggers the anxious person it triggers their fear of abandonment, because the shutting down to the anxious person is, oh my God, this person is shutting down because they are falling out of love with me. This person is shutting down because they are getting ready to leave. This person is shutting down because our relationship is falling apart. They increase, they amplify. Because the anxious person is simply, remember, if I get loud enough with my needs, they must be recognized and met. And so they get bigger and bigger and bigger with their reactions, bigger and bigger and bigger in the way they ask for those needs to be met. And so sometimes the anxious person can come across as demanding in how they want their needs to be met. And it is tiring for a partner, especially if you are with a secure partner who does do what is required to meet your emotional needs. This does not necessarily apply with an avoidant partner, because an avoidant partner is not meeting your emotional needs adequately in the first place. But a securely attached partner is trying to meet your needs adequately. And you're constantly demanding for more. So at some point, for them, it feels like, I will never be able to pour enough into this person that it will just be enough for us to just, okay, I can stop and we can just be in this relationship together and just be inside of it and experience it and enjoy it. Okay, number 3, a third way that anxious attachment impacts relationships is with how they emotionally present. And one of those ways is jealousy and insecurity. Insecure attachment styles function with a measure of jealousy and insecurity. All of them, it just manifests in different ways. Anxiously attached individuals are prone to jealousy, and they often fear that their partner might be interested in someone else. That insecurity can lead to distrust, conflict, bickering, withholding, and a slew of other things, as they constantly seek signs of their partner's fidelity and commitment. Now, you can have a partner that has never cheated on you, not once. A secure partner. If you are an anxiously attached person, even if they have never cheated, even if they have never given you a reason to think that they will cheat, you are afraid that they will. You are monitoring and watching for signs like, hmm, hmm. You're thinking about the conversations you had. What did that thing he said? What did he mean? That song she played, she was playing Goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend. You have been the one, you have been the one for me. So she's trying to tell me that I'm no longer the one for her. She's trying to tell me that she's trying to say goodbye to me because I'm her current lover now. Why would she be saying goodbye, my lover, if she's not talking to me? Why would she be playing that kind of song? And I noticed now that she has been talking to this new friend that she met. And all of a sudden now she's playing goodbye, my lover. So it's like maybe her and that person are getting very, very close. So now, I see what's going on. By yourself, by yourself, by yourself. Nobody is pushing you. And an anxious person can create an entire world of stuff happening in their relationship or stuff happening between their partner and another person that's never happened and might never happen. But they react based on that imagination. Now, I made sure to say secure partner because your avoidant partner can do things that will trigger or elicit these insecurities in you. When you ask a person, hey, where you headed? Let me know where you're going so that I know that you're safe. That's a secure thing to do. An avoidant can say, you're trying to control me. Why do you need to know where I'm going? I'm not going to tell this person. In fact, if I usually go out for 2 hours on Thursday, I'm going to go out for 5 hours this Thursday. And this, so that this person knows they cannot control my movement. And the anxious person is 3 hours, is 4 hours, is 5 hours. Where is this person? He didn't call. Are they okay? Did they die? Are they safe? Did something? Did anxiety? Whoosh. So there are things that can happen with the anxious person if they are with another unhealthily attached person that makes their responses valid. But when you're with a securely attached person, these responses are no longer valid because this person hasn't given you any reason to doubt their fidelity. Now, an avoidant person or a narcissistic person or a toxic person can intentionally try to instill that insecurity in their partner by talking about other people. So a guy can say, oh, I like yellow women. Meanwhile, he's dating a dark-skinned girl. And if he's a cruel person, he knows that this girl is anxious. He's going to be talking about yellow, light-skinned girls all the time. Then this girl gets more and more insecure. And so whenever she sees a light-skinned girl, it's going to trigger that insecurity, but also the fear that her boyfriend is going to be attracted to that person because he says what he actually likes is light-skinned girls. So you see the difference. A securely attached person would never do that. So these reactions of the anxious person in light of them being with a securely attached person, a healthy person. Because unhealthy people do things that elicit these behaviors in the anxious person, like comparing them to others, like saying they like the exact thing that their partner is not. Like, ignoring them, disappearing, ghosting, all those kinds of things. Those are all unhealthy behaviors, and it doesn't apply within the context of this conversation about anxiously attached people. All right, the fourth way. So we talked about jealousy and insecurity. The fourth way that this affects anxious people's relationships is a strain on the relationship via intense reactions and escalation of conflict. Now, the intense emotional reactions and the constant, insatiable need for reassurance that the anxious attacher has can put a strain on the relationship. It doesn't make it as fun anymore. It doesn't make it as light anymore. Instead of us enjoying this relationship, we are constantly trying to either fix it or build it, or I'm spending all my time pouring and none of my time just being in the relationship, right? And it causes the healthy partner, to feel overwhelmed or suffocated because, like, you're always on me. You're always on me about something I didn't do right, or something I didn't get right, or something that I need to do better, or something I need to stop doing, or something I need to start doing, or something. And it's all in a bid to make you feel secure, like I actually love you, like I care about you. And I'm telling you, I love you, I care about you, I love you, I care about you. Do you not see that I love you? Do you not see the things that I'm doing? How is this not enough to let you know that I love you? Then when your partner starts to feel like that, they feel overwhelmed because everything they're doing to show you that they love you is not getting through to the anxious attacher. And so when conflicts come up, they're escalated. It is hard for an avoidant or for an anxious attacher to have a calm conflict, for conflicts to not escalate. Because the more they're trying to be heard, the less they feel heard, the louder they get. If you're showing that you don't understand them, if you're showing that you are not attuned to them, if you're showing that you don't get where they are coming from, they amplify. If I are just going to keep getting louder until you hear me. And so they escalate conflicts. And so small issues may become mountains, and they are escalated into significant conflicts due to the heightened sensitivity and the fear of abandonment of the anxious person. When your girlfriend is screaming, shouting, and blocking the door that you will not go out, or all these behaviors, these escalating, amplifying behaviors, if you have the presence of mind, that is, if you're a man and you are the securely attached one, know that this is coming. This is all her showing you, I'm afraid that this relationship will not last. And I don't know how to make it last, because when I was a kid or when I was young, relationships didn't last. And I don't know. I didn't know how to keep them. I didn't know what else I could have done. I thought I tried my best. And they left anyway. Mommy died anyway. Daddy died anyway. My sister died anyway. My brother died anyway. And I'm just trying to tell you that I don't want you to leave. Not like I don't want you to have fun. Not that I don't want you to have a life. I'm just saying I don't want you to leave. Now, if the anxious person was aware of this, they would be able to articulate it like this, but they seldom ever articulate it like this. It comes out instead in blaming their partner, shouting or yelling or criticizing their partner, shouting, yelling at, or criticizing their partner. It comes out in being dissatisfied with what their partner has done or is doing. It comes out in like lecturing your partner for hours. Like, this is how you have to do this thing, go, like knocking on them, like, oh my God. So, small things that don't have to become a 2 hour long conversation turn into a 5 hour long conversation, because the anxious person is indirectly trying to say, please don't leave. I am afraid that if you do these things, it means you're going to leave. And I don't know how to get you to understand that this is what I'm feeling. They escalate conflicts. All right. The fifth and final way that we're going to be talking about, and this is not all, there's so many more examples and so many other ways that the anxious attachment manifests in relationships, but for the sake of keeping this video into 2 weeks, we're going to stop at this fifth one. And it is a fear of abandonment that shows up as preemptive strikes and clinging behavior. To avoid being abandoned, the anxiously attached person might engage in preemptive behaviors such as testing their partner's fidelity, commitment, love, affection, or seeking constant affirmation of their love. So, when a person that is anxiously attached wants to know if their partner loves them, sometimes they can pretend that they are done with the relationship. Oh, yeah. You can have a fight with your anxious partner, and the next thing is, if you guys live together, they've started packing their load. They started packing their load. Like, they don't want to go. They just want their partner to stop them from leaving. Because if their partner says, don't leave, if their partner says, unpack your box, if their partner says, let's talk about it, to them, that is a confirmation that their partner loves them. It's not the I love you that the partner said yesterday. This one we're having now, this is a fresh day. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. And the anxious attacher's voila is new every morning. The anxious attacher's need for reassurance is new every morning. And if you don't pour that day's supply of reassurance into your anxious partner, you guys can very well have a difficult time that day. So preemptive strikes are things like dropping hints to see if your partner remembers or doesn't. Like, I can say, for instance, when I eat fish, I get like an allergic reaction. Me, I know that when I eat fish, I get an allergic reaction. It's my body that's going to be affected. It's me that they're going to rush to the emergency room. An anxious attacher would feel loved and affirmed if their partner maybe was ordering food for them and said, please make sure there's no fish in there because she has an allergic reaction to fish or he has an allergic reaction to fish. You don't know, you would send them over the moon because it means I am seen and I'm heard by this person. A preemptive strike from an anxious attacher that is looking for affirmation would be they will go and order fish, knowing that fish can very well kill them. Waiting for their partner to say, why are you ordering fish now? But you know fish is not good for you. That's all they want to hear. But if their partner does not say that, if their partner is maybe preoccupied with something else, if their partner, I don't know, is doing something, anything else, if they, for whatever reason, don't say to their anxious partner, babe, you know you're not allowed to eat fish because fish is bad for you. That anxious person can take it to mean this person doesn't love me anymore. Because if they loved me, they wouldn't let me eat fish because they know that if I eat fish, I would die. So now they don't even care enough about my survival, much less the relationship, that they're allowing me to order fish. Meanwhile, it is you, the anxious partner, who is not allowed to eat fish. You use that as a way to pull out affection or a confirmation of your partner's commitment and affection towards you. And if it doesn't work, it becomes a problem. So that's what I mean by preemptive strikes. Now, clinging behaviors, they cling to their partners, fearing that any distance or separation could lead to the end of the relationship. The anxious person, we talked about this already, they want to be inside their partner. They want to be if they can enter into your body and live there, they would. They don't want you to be in places without them. They don't want you to go away because in the subconscious, which I said earlier, is the real big part of your mind, it has been stored somewhere in this person's psyche that when my eyes are not on someone, on the person, they can disappear forever. Especially if their anxious attachment was caused by a sudden loss of a loved one. If it was caused by sudden separation from a loved one. It's like, I wasn't there, I wasn't looking at this person, that's why they left. So I need to keep my eyes on you all the time. And this manifests in work, it manifests in friendships, it manifests in relationships the most. And so your anxious partner is alone time for your anxious partner feels like you saying, I need to take space from this relationship. Alone time, just like wanting to do something on your own, whatever. If your anxious partner feels like you want to take space from me, and if you want to take space from me, then there must be something wrong with me. And why can't you just tell me that thing that is wrong with me so I can fix it so that you won't need to take space from me? Because we're supposed to be together all the time. Like, why can't we be together all the time? And problem has started brewing. Because we all need to take space from one another. Oh my God. We all need to take space. We all need our personal space and time. Every single person does. If you're a healthy person, you do. Because it is in you, the solitude of your personal space that you're able to process your day, process yourself, process how you showed up in life that day, how you want to show up that day, the things that you want to do, things that you want to do better, the things you want to stop doing. And we all need that alone time. These are some things that can be difficult dealing with anxious people. Okay, thank you so very much to everyone who has tuned in this week, to everyone who continues to tune into this show. I deeply appreciate all of you. It's not easy talking about some of these things, some of us feel triggered, some of us feel like, oh my goodness, that's me, or that's someone I know. We're not talking about these things to castigate or bring down anyone. We're talking about this so that we can educate ourselves and position ourselves to be the best we can be in our relationships, to show up the best we can for our partners, to love them the ways that they need to be loved, and to love ourselves the way we need to be loved as well. So please, if any of the stuff that we talk about on this channel resonates with you, take it as a chance to go and investigate and dig further into who you are and the ways that you show up in life. And just take this as your launching pad, and explore and find out more about yourself from here. Yeah. Thank you very much for spending this time with me today. If these thoughts have been helpful to you, I would ask that you please share them with someone who you think they would be helpful to as well. I appreciate every view, every viewer, every person who comes here and comments and likes and shares. Thank you so very, very much. You're helping to get the word out there. Our subscribers have increased, our viewers have increased, and that makes me so stoked. Thank you so very, very much to everyone who is helping me make this happen. All right, you know what time it is. Sign off with me. In life, we can always do better, or we can do worse. Let us try to find ourselves in the former more than we are in the latter. Stay safe out there in those relationship streets. Make sure that you are not bamboozling or being bamboozled by Bay. I will see you again in next week's episode. Until then, please let love guide you always. Bye for now.